Hello everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class where I will be going through some tips related to the IELTS speaking exam, and I will also be providing feedback to students who get involved and do some IELTS speaking practice. So this is a great opportunity for those who want to improve in their speaking. They want to learn a little bit more about how the IELTS is assessed, and they want to learn some tips that they can put into direct practice when it comes to preparing for their IELTS speaking exam. We are broadcasting live onto YouTube and Facebook. So if you are currently watching this class live on those mediums, then let me know. Just send me a message in the chat box. Let me know your name and where you're watching from. It's always great to see who we have watching the classes live and who is watching us in all the different countries in which the IELTS plays such a big role. So do let me know in the chat box if you are watching live, and yeah, also let me know if you've got your exam booked, if you're planning on doing your exam soon, and how you're feeling about your IELTS preparation. So I can see that Deepu has joined us. Deepu is watching us from Kuwait and is watching on Facebook. So welcome to you, Deepu. And I can see that Jessie has joined us in the class as well. Hello to you, Jessie. Jess is watching us as well, and Jessie is live in the class. So hello to you. Jessie's watching from the Philippines. And Lauren is in the class too. Hello to you, Lauren. So I look forward to doing some speaking practice with each of you in the class today. Who else is watching us on YouTube or Facebook? Let me know. And get involved as well in today's class. There'll be moments where I'll be asking questions based on points that are connected with the IELTS exam. So if you have the answers to those questions, then do just let me know in the chat box, and it would be great to see your responses. The more interactive the classes are, the more valuable they are. So I look forward to seeing your responses and to seeing your answers to the questions that I'll be asking at different stages, particularly at the beginning of the class. So Rissa is joining us on Facebook. Rissa is from the Bahamas. The Bahamas, a wonderful place to be, I am sure. Okay. Anyone else watching us live on Facebook or YouTube at the moment? As I say, just let me know in the chat box. I can see we're being joined in the classroom as well by Dan, and Alice had joined us in the classroom too. So we've got a few people now getting ready to do their IELTS speaking practice. Okay, so as everyone is joining us, I'm going to take the opportunity to let those know who are not joining us directly in the classroom at the moment about the opportunities which exist with Swoosh English. And I'm going to let you know about those opportunities now. So if you are a nurse and you want to live and work in the United States, then here we can help you to achieve those ambitions. We can provide you with the support, the resources, and the guidance necessary in order to pass your IELTS exam. And this support can be provided through our IELTS scholarship program. Sign up today. If you want to find out more information about this, then you will see that information appearing on the screen now. Just click on the link which you can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen to find out more information if you would like to receive that extra support and guidance in terms of achieving your ambitions of working and living in the United States. You could receive all of the support for free. Okay, so I can see that some other students have joined us in the class now. So let's see who has joined us. We have Sushil is watching us on Facebook. Hello to you, Sushil. And we also have Remya, who is watching on YouTube from Kerala. Wonderful. So wonderful to see the mix of countries that we have engaging in this class. Okay, so what are we going to be looking at today then? Today I want to focus on vocabulary. So one of the elements of the criterion for vocabulary in the IELTS speaking exam, which is very important, is your ability to use less common words. This is something that you need to do in order to score highly in the IELTS speaking test. One of the topics which comes up quite frequently in the IELTS, particularly in part 2, is describing people. So it's worth having a few less common vocabulary items in our arsenal when it comes to being able to do this, when it comes to being able to describe people. Note my expression there, by the way, in our arsenal. Up our sleeve is another expression that we can use. And basically what I'm saying is that it's good to have a wide vocabulary. So here are 2 examples of questions we could get in part 2. Describe a child that you know. Describe a person who you admire. These are the types of questions that we could get. And when it comes to giving descriptions, we can describe, of course, both the physical appearance of the person and also their personality. So here are some words which we can use to describe both appearance and personality. So what I would like you to do is just have a look at these 2 lists. You can see we've got list 1 and list 2. Which of these lists refers to personality and which of these lists refers to physical appearance? So have a look at them and tell me what you think. And just as you're doing that, by the way, welcome to the class, Benny, who is watching from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So let me know in the chat box, what do we think? So Lauren says the first is personality. And so the second one in that case must refer to physical appearance. Yeah, Dan agrees with that. 1 personality, 2 physical appearance. Okay, good. So do we recognize all of these words? Are these words familiar to us? Are there any words here which are new? Can you think of any other words with similar meanings which we could add to the above lists? Again, let me know in the chat box if any of these words are new to you, or if you're able to suggest any other words which are similar, which we could add to these lists. Okay. So all of these words, as I'm sure you can see, are words which are less common. We can use words such as the person is happy, the person is tall, the person is interesting, the person is fun. We can use all of these adjectives, and that's fine. It's not a problem to use these adjectives. But if we want to use less common adjectives, if we want to show that we have a really high level, then it's always good to use language which is a little bit more precise or a little less common. That's how we're demonstrating that we have a high level within the language. Okay, so looking at these words, let's focus on the ones for personality, which you correctly identified. That's number 1. Number 1 refers to personality. It's important that if we use these words in our speaking, that we pronounce them correctly. So we have to understand the meaning of the word, but we also have to be able to pronounce the words correctly. So here are some things to take into account when it comes to producing correct pronunciation. So we need to note the number of syllables in the word, and we also need to note which is the stressed syllable. So for the first one, we've got engaging. So 3 syllables, we can see, engaging. And the stressed syllable is the second syllable, engaging. Okay. The second one, humorous. So again, 3 syllables, humorous. Stress on the first syllable, humorous. Then we've got witty. So witty, 2 syllables, stress on the first syllable. Witty is similar to humorous in its meaning, in case that's unfamiliar to any of you. Someone's witty, they make you laugh, they're very quick in terms of coming up with jokes or humorous or funny comments. Spontaneous. So now we've got a 4-syllable adjective here, spontaneous. Stress on the second syllable. Extroverted, stress on the first syllable, again 4 syllables. Luminous, I like this word, luminous. So 3 syllables. And if someone is luminous, it just means they have this sparkling, this bright personality. So luminous refers to brightness, but they just have this bright personality. They draw people to them, and they're just a very pleasant person to be around. Similar to engaging, but it refers to the presence somebody has. It's almost like they just give out light. They're luminous, and you're drawn to them. Intense, 2 syllables, second syllable stress. And finally, taciturn. So first syllable stress in this case. If someone's taciturn, it means they don't say very much. They're quite quiet. They use words very rarely or sparingly. Sparingly is a synonym for rarely. Okay, they rarely talk if they're taciturn. So let's have a look now at these words for physical description. What can you tell me about any of these words? How do we pronounce them? How many syllables are in each word? And what's the stress on each word? So if you think you know the answers, again, share your answers in the chat box. Safa has joined us. Safa's watching us on Facebook. Hello to you, Safa. Do you have the answers here, Safa? How many syllables in this first word that you can see in the list? Let me know if you have the answers. Okay, so we've got a student here asking, do we have OET speaking practice? Not right now. This is IELTS. We're going to do some IELTS speaking practice. Okay, so Ariane on Facebook says two syllables in the first word. That looks good to me. Dan also says 2 syllables. Looking at the second word, Dan is saying that the stress is on the second syllable. Interesting for the phrase. Good. Any other comments? Give you a few more seconds and then we'll have a look at them together. Okay, so let's have a look at these together then. The comments you made were good. And yes, petite, stress on the second syllable. Petite, that is correct. And sharp-featured. Yeah, sharp-featured. So if someone is sharp-featured, maybe they have quite an angular nose, quite a sharp nose, maybe quite a sharp jawline. Yeah, it's like angular, a little bit angular if you're sharp-featured. So there you go, a less common word. Dimpled, stress on the first syllable, dimpled. Dimples refers to when you're smiling. Some people, they have dimples in their cheeks. Do I have dimples? I might do. We have a look on the video. Yeah, some people do when they smile. You can see they just have little dimples in their cheeks. So dimpled is how we pronounce this word. And wiry. So this is 2 syllables, wiry. Just bear in mind that the first syllable is what is called a diphthong. Ear, wiry. Okay, wiry just means someone who is maybe quite slim, but even though they're slim, their muscles are prominent. Okay, so they don't have big muscles, they might have small muscles, but their muscles are well defined. They're wiry. Okay, so they have strength. They may be a bit small, they may be a bit thin, but they're still strong. So it's quite a nice term to use, wiry. Athletic, obviously stress on the second syllable, 3 syllables, but stress on the second syllable, athletic. Broad, so broad is in like, yeah, wide, someone who's wide, broad, maybe quite muscular if you're broad. Delicate, someone who's delicate physically is quite thin, maybe, similar to petite, quite delicate, but maybe even more so. And stooped is just one syllable with a t ending for the ed, stooped. And if you're stooped, it refers to physically like this. You're a little bit bent if you're stooped. Okay. So good. So those are some useful words then, in terms of extending your vocabulary. If any of these are new, do write them down, note them down, try to use them in your speaking practice, because they will provide examples of less common vocabulary and will help to increase your vocabulary score. If you are able to share some of your own less common words in relation to today's IELTS questions, then that would be wonderful. So please do share if you have some less common vocabulary that you could share related to the topics in today's class. So we're going to move on now to do some speaking practice. And for speaking part 2, there is a minute to prepare before you speak on a question for up to 2 minutes. So let me bring in one of our students today to do some part 2 speaking practice. I'm going to bring Jessie into the class. Hi there, Jessie.
Hi, Alex.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, today I'm doing good. Last week I was not keeping well. I had fever, cold, cough, all the symptoms of I don't know what.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it, but you've
Yeah.
recovered quickly.
Not really, but still now also I don't have the sensation of taste and smell. So yeah,
Oh.
this is the yeah.
You know what that sounds like, don't you, Jessie?
What like I didn't get you.
Yeah, that sounds like those symptoms. You know what those symptoms sound like, don't you?
I know. I just don't want to stress myself. When I attend your
No.
class, I forget everything. So
Good.
I'm so happy when I attend your class. That's it. I just born on Friday to attend your class. That's what I need.
Brilliant. Good, good. Well, that's wonderful to hear, Jessie.
Yeah.
So are you ready to do a part 2 speaking practice
Yes. Yeah.
question?
Sure. Sure.
Brilliant. Let me bring this up for you. So the topic we're going to start with today is family. So can you see the topic on your screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so Jessie, you've got a minute then to prepare, and then you should speak on the topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay. Jessie, you ready to begin?
Yes. Yes. I'll try my best.
Okay. So please describe a time when you felt proud of a family member.
Yes. So today I'm going to talk about a time. Uh, that I was very proud of my sister. So the story goes this way: that my sister, one day she was traveling to one new city, and she was standing in the railway station, on the railway station, and she saw one old gentleman who was lost. Like, and then she thought that let me go and help that person, and she approached that man, and she asked that gentleman, why are you looking so lost? Where are you? Do you want any help? So he told that I just don't remember anything. I only know that my son was with me and I cannot find him. So then she thought that I should definitely help this old person and search for some contact number, so that this person will be safely taken to his home. And then she tried her best. Then she told that this elderly person, why don't you give me some contact number? So he said that I don't have a mobile, I don't have anything. But when she searched in his pocket, she found one small piece of paper, and there was a number written on that. And she immediately contacted that person, and luckily that person's daughter picked up the call and said that, yeah, I was searching for my father and he was lost. I don't know any whereabout of this person. So I was so proud when she told me this story. I said that I never expected that you will do this work, because my sister is a happy go lucky person. She just don't bother about any surrounding or anything. But when she told me this story, I told that I'm very proud of you, because see, even if
Okay.
you help one person in
Thank you.
life. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse. That was a very interesting story. You
Yeah.
could have gone on. You could have gone on for 10 minutes with that story.
I wanted to complete the story, but it's okay.
We could complete it, but then no one else would be able to do any practice afterwards, because it was such an interesting story. You had
Yeah.
a lot to say on it. Um, yeah, so that, really good, Jesse. I mean, in terms of fluency, that's fantastic, because you were telling your story, you were giving so many details, you were giving background details. That's essentially what the examiner will want to hear from you. They want to hear, okay, is this person able to speak fluently and confidently on a topic, use a variety of vocabulary, use accurate grammar, pronounce effectively? And that's what you did. You demonstrated that within those 2 minutes, that you had all of those skills. So don't worry about the fact you didn't complete all of the questions. The
Yes.
fact that you were able to demonstrate your level, which clearly is of a very high level, is the most important thing for this. So yeah, just looking at the variety of language you were using. So we're using different forms of the past tense. She was standing, so using past continuous, which was good, and then mixing that as well with elements of the past simple, and then also the passive. We're using sort of passive voice as well. You said there was a number written on a piece of paper. Um, you were adding some extra details to show your attitude as well. So luckily, was quite nice. Luckily that there was that piece of paper. It was the number of the daughter. Some nice use of expressions. Happy-go-lucky to describe your sister. So yeah, some really good use of grammatical variety, and some nice use of expressions there as well. In terms of just a few slips, so you said that the daughter said, "I don't know any whereabout of this person." So I'd change that slightly. So the daughter would said, yeah, so I don't know the whereabouts of this person, would be
Okay.
the phrase. Yeah, the whereabouts. It was close, but yeah, that's just a slight change that I'd make there. And there was only one word with pronunciation. So the word approached, it's like an O, approached sound. And I think the vowel sound was a bit different when you said it. Just a
Okay.
little bit. Just a little
Yeah.
bit. Very close, but just slightly different. So yeah, just approached. That was the only word where the pronunciation I thought was slightly different, but it was still very clear. So there was no area where pronunciation reduced your clarity. Yeah, I think you speak at a nice pace. It is you've got a lot to say, and you do express your ideas clearly as well. So that's the most important thing. The ideas were clearly expressed. Fluency was really strong. Yeah, and some nice variety in grammar and vocabulary. So well done, Jesse.
Thank you so much, Alex, for giving this opportunity. I was waiting for the time. Last week I did not get the chance, so I said that thank you so much, Alex. I'm so happy today.
You're very welcome, Jesse. You're very welcome, and thank you for participating.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you. Take care. Brilliant. Okay, so a really good start. A really good example in terms of how we can approach part two successfully there from Jesse. So we're going to have a look at a different question now, and the question is focused on a smile. So let me bring Jess into the class for this one. Hi, Jess, are you there?
Hi, Alex. How are
Hi, how are
you?
you?
I'm
I'm
doing
good.
well. Yes, I'm doing well, but I feel so knackered because we're so overwhelmed with the COVID-19 cases. So
Is it is
we're,
is that
yes,
something you're still really struggling with in the Philippines?
yes, because we're running out of oxygen
Oh wow, I'm
tanks.
sorry to
Yeah.
hear that. So that must be intense.
Yes. But hopefully we
Hopefully,
will
is it,
overcome
you'll
this.
be able to. Yeah. How is it going with vaccines? Are you managing to get vaccines out there now?
Yes, there's a lot of circulating vaccine, but there's
Mm.
still a what do you call the right term? There's still a lot of doubts when it
Okay.
comes
Vaccine
to
hesitancy.
efficacy of the vaccine. Yes,
Right.
vaccine hesitancy. Yeah.
It still exists. I think that's the case in every country, isn't it? Unfortunately. Okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Best of luck, Jesse, going forward. So in terms of your IELTS preparation, how has that been going?
Well, I recently moved on because I wasn't able to pass my speaking
Oh,
during my IELTS exam. So I get back on my track and I start reviewing again.
good. When did you do the
But
test?
last August 21.
Okay, recently then. So last month.
Yes, last month.
Okay. And what score did you get?
Actually, I got a 6.5 in my speaking and the 7 for my written exam.
Okay. So they're good scores, but you need a bit higher than that, do you?
Yes, I need to get a band score of 7 in my
Mhm.
speaking so that I
Okay.
can process my visa screen for my US application.
Okay. Okay. Jess, well, can you see the question on your screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Brilliant. Okay. So you've got a minute to prepare, and then you should speak on this topic for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Jess, are you ready to begin?
I will give it a try.
Brilliant. So please describe an occasion when you saw a lot of people smiling.
Okay. So let me tell you a story about a occasion where a lot of people are smiling in my surroundings. So it was 4 years ago when this special event happened. It was our oath taking. So this oath taking is held when when a graduate nurse passed his or her licensure exam. So luckily, I was one of the participants of this oath taking. I passed my licensure exam in the Philippines way back in 2017, and the special occasion held was in our gymnasium, in our school gymnasium. So I am together I was together with my friends and also of, to my future colleagues. And there are also different school who attend the event because there's a lot of nursing schools in our city. Um, a lot of people were smiling, not just the participants, but also the parents of the new nurse. So we were so happy that finally we were able to pass the licensure exam because we know that this is the first step for our better future. And every one of us wishes to have a good job and also to settle in a good place. So we are so overwhelmed with our emotions and we can't help but smile from ear to ear. And we keep on saying congratulations, even though we know that the challenges in our lives will start because it's a commencement for a new begin. It's a commencement for an upcoming struggles in our life. But
Okay.
we know.
Thank you. Thank you very much there, Jess. That's great. So, yeah, an important moment, a big moment for you, and definitely a moment where I can imagine a lot of people smiling. Good. So there were definitely some good elements there, Jess, to your speaking. There was some nice use of expressions. Towards the end there, you were saying that you couldn't help smiling. Can't help smiling from ear to ear as well. So that's a nice expression which is used. Your pronunciation was clear in most cases, in almost all cases. In fact, I'm going to pick up on one example where it was a little unclear, but in generally your speaking was your pronunciation was very clear. And there was some variety in vocabulary as well. So overwhelmed was an adjective which you used. And participants as well, and that was well pronounced, a less common vocabulary item that was used there too. Just on pronunciation, which wasn't clear. So the word, I think the word you were looking for was oath, and it was that
Yes.
it was the th that was lost when you were saying it. So at first, when I was listening, I wasn't sure what you were referring to, but then from the context, I picked up it's like, okay, it's an oath. So be careful
Oath.
with that oath. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Be
Sounds
careful with
like a food. Oat. Like.
oats. Oats sounds like a
Okay.
food.
Oat.
Yeah, but oath is what you want to
Oat.
say. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
oath. So that was the only time where I got a bit lost, just because of the pronunciation there. In terms of grammar, so you said at one point the special occasion held, but this is where we want to use the passive voice. So it should be the special occasion was held
Was held.
here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Was.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So just be careful there. And also just a slight grammatical slip. You said that there were different schools who attend the events. So school is not, wouldn't use who with the school, so which would be more appropriate. So different schools,
Okay.
which or that.
Which.
Yeah, which or
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Which
Um,
or that.
yeah, because you're
Okay.
referring to like organizations. For organizations, we'd use which or that. Um, and just be careful with tense as well, because you were using the present tense quite a lot when you were talking
Yes.
about a past
A
tense story.
task. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So that's something where I always say if that's a mistake that's being made, and a lot of people do make that mistake when they're talking at length, record yourself to spot examples of that, because that is one of the things that will differentiate between getting a 7 or a 6.5 is, okay, are you making mistakes with tenses? So do review that, because it was coming up a few times. But as I say, in terms of pronunciation, in terms of fluency, it was strong. Some good use of vocabulary in there as well. I think the grammar focus would be the main area I would look at, because that's most likely what's stopping you from getting the 7 in the
Yes.
exam.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, then,
Thank
Jess.
you. Thank you for
No.
listening to my answer and teaching me also.
It was a
Yes.
pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank
Okay, so we're going to move on to do a little bit more practice with speaking part 2. Just before we do, let me just make those aware who are joining us, who weren't with us right at the beginning of the class, of the opportunity that exists with the IELTS scholarship program. So I'm just going to bring this up now. Having a slight technical glitch here, but this will be resolved. Just give me one moment. You can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen that we have information relating to the IELTS scholarship program. If you are a doctor, well, if you are a nurse, if you are a nurse who wishes to work and live in the United States, then we could provide the support and the guidance here at Swoosh English and Connetics in order to allow you to achieve those ambitions. So just click on the link, which you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, to find out more information. You could potentially get all of this support for free. Okay. So who are we going to bring in next to do some practice? I'm going to bring Alice into the class. Hi there, Alice. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good. I'm glad
Sorry,
to
I'm in
hear
a
it.
noisy place. I may not be able to participate.
Oh, have we lost you, Alice? It looks like we've lost her. Oh, well, she did say she was in a noisy place, so maybe we can bring Alice in a little bit later. In that case, let me bring Dan into the class. Hi there, Dan.
Hi, sir. Good
Hi.
evening.
Good
Yeah.
evening. Good evening. How are you doing this week?
It's been a tough duty. I had lots of patients who were infected by COVID-19, but yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'm doing great actually.
Okay. So, of course, you're in the Philippines as well. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. So it is a struggle, but I'm glad that you're getting through. And obviously, the important work you're doing, that it would be even worse, wouldn't it, if you weren't there doing the work that you're doing? So, well done for trying to deal with what is ultimately, as you said, it's a global pandemic, not something that we can
Yeah.
cure, but we try to manage it as best as possible.
Yes.
So, Dan, so I'm going to bring up a new topic for us to discuss, or for you to discuss, really. And you should be able to see this on your screen now. So this is primary school. And
Okay.
yeah, let me just go back because we're going to have a look at part 2. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So can you see the question on your screen there, Dan?
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got a minute to prepare your response, and then you should speak on the topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay, Dan, are you ready to begin?
Yes, sir. I'll try.
Brilliant.
I
Okay,
don't know this
so
right
please
now, but let
describe.
me try.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
Okay, so please describe a person who impressed you most when you were in primary school.
All right. So, okay, I would like to talk about my classmates when I was in grade school, and her name is Rolly, and I can say that he is right now he is chubby and overweight because he ate a lot of food. Going back to the topic, I've met I met her when I was in grade school, and we were seatmates at that time. And she is very clever, and she's very clever, and she's very brave. And aside from that, I know that he excel most of the time in our class, and he also plays a lot of sports. That's what I wanted about her, because I'm a sporty person too, and she knows how to play basketball. It's volleyball. And whenever it's our MAPE, or as our subject, that is physical education, we always wanted to play sports like volleyball. And as a matter of fact, she when it was our intrams or intramurals, she was an MVP at that time. And I was impressed by her because of her efforts in her studies, and in her playing of in her uh, in our activities actually during when we were at the grade school. Uh, I was excited. I am excited about her now because she is also processing her American dream. And as a matter of fact, she is still my friend as up until today. And we were both processing our American dream. We were about to take our
Okay.
IELTS exam
Thank you.
next month.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Dan.
I messed up.
No, you didn't. You didn't mess up at all.
Yeah,
This
because
is
I'm fabricating. I'm thinking about what to answer and what to
you're
tell.
adding
Yeah,
more information, but you're getting
yeah,
more and more comfortable with the format. So this time you kept on talking for the 2 minutes,
yeah,
which before was a real struggle, wasn't it? So you're getting more and more comfortable with the format. Your fluency is developing, and clearly the practice is helping you to get better at this part of the exam. So no, you didn't mess up at all. You this is the best you've done part two that I've seen.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
no, there's something's going well. Something's going well. So there was, there was some nice physical description at the start. You described. I wasn't sure. Was your friend male or female? Because you switched from he to she quite a lot.
Oh, she's a female. Sorry, because I actually the one that I told you it is not true, but I just want to tell something so that I can answer
That you can
the
speak.
cue card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry
which
about
is which
that.
is
Yeah.
no, that's a good strategy. Yeah, just as long as you've got something to say, it doesn't matter if it's invented or not. But yeah, just be
Yeah.
consistent with your pronouns. So if you're going to
Yes.
go with male, obviously make sure it's always male pronouns, and female pronouns. But yeah, so you describe the person as chubby and overweight. Another adjective, sporty. You said I'm a sporty person too. There was some nice use of expressions as well towards the end. As a matter of fact was a nice expression to use, and kind of a way to link your ideas. And yeah, generally, as I say, you were able to maintain a much better level of fluency on this occasion. The pronunciation was clear. Still a bit of hesitation at times, but you clearly are making improvements. So it's definitely going in the right direction. Generally, with tenses, you were quite accurate. There was quite a bit of self-correction going on at times,
Yeah.
which
Sorry.
no, I mean, at this stage, it's a good strategy because I think you're still kind of getting used to the format. It does impact your fluency a bit because obviously if you're self-correcting, the fluency is impacted. But at the same time, as you're getting used to the format and, getting more comfortable with it, it is quite natural that we do kind of second guess ourselves. And at least you're able to recognize mistakes that you're making as well. There was one point where you corrected from basketball to volleyball, and I was kind of thinking to myself, well, do you need to correct it? Does it matter? I don't know whether it's basketball or volleyball, so you don't.
Yeah.
If it's content, I wouldn't self-correct on content. If it's grammar, then okay, I understand because obviously you want to be
Yeah.
grammatically accurate. Yeah,
Yeah. Because
but yeah,
she's a girl, so
yeah.
that's why I shifted to volleyball.
Girls can play basketball as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the 21st century, right? They're allowed to play
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I understand the logic. But yeah, Dan, definitely, you're definitely making improvements. Keep on practicing. Your fluency is getting better.
Yeah.
Keep on practicing, and your fluency will get even better. And yeah, I would say for the next goal to focus on is try to do a little bit less self-correcting and focus a bit more on just developing the ideas.
Yeah.
And if you are inventing things, that doesn't matter. That's what you've got that minute for. Just scribble a few things down, and as long as you are able to keep going and keep talking, then whether what you're saying is factually accurate or not, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I really love to criticize my speaking skills so that I can improve more. Thank you so much.
Exactly. No worries, Dan. Thanks for getting involved. Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to move on to part 3 now of the speaking. So let me do that. I'll just bring this up now. And apologies for the slight technical issues today, but we will get on there. So as we're going to move on to part 3, let me bring now Mac into the class. Hi there, Mac. Are you there?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah,
Hi,
but
how you
my
doing?
line is kind of distorted.
Oh, are you not able to participate?
Uh, I don't know if I can because my line's sometimes getting choppy and there's some
Uh,
echoes and
n
there's
no
distortion.
problem. No problem. That's okay, Max. So if you think you're going to drop out, then that's fine. Let me maybe we'll come back next week. Okay. So in that case, let me bring Cynthia into the class. Hi there, Cynthia.
Hi, Alex.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's almost midnight here in the Philippines.
Late, very late, but
Yeah, late night.
you're showing your dedication as usual, Cynthia,
Yeah,
by staying awake.
we have to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a good attitude.
Mhm.
Are you ready to do some part 3 practice, Cynthia?
I'll try.
Yeah, all right, let's have a go. So we looked at the topic before of family. So I'd like to ask you the question, in which situations do parents often feel proud of their children?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Most parents are are happy about what their children's achievements. That's what I can say, because in every success that their children has, they feel also that it's also their success. They hone their children since they were young, so they know that their offsprings are capable of doing something that made them really proud parents.
And when do you think parents should reward their children?
Well, it's not all the time that they have to reward their children with like material things, or like um or gifts, or anything that their children make them feel happy. It's just about like accepting and feeling that their children are like they're being proud of it, like their parents are so happy about them. And we could also give some like simple gifts, or going to a restaurant to celebrate, something like that.
Do you think it's possible to reward children too much?
For me as a mother, I don't as for my experience, I don't really give reward to my child, but it's also important to like um give them something like, oh, you are very good and keep going, something like that. That's a matter. It's that's what can I say about, it's like giving them an opportunity to improve more. And yeah, that's it.
And what do you think makes children proud of their parents?
Every time they have their achievements, that's what I can say. Every time they have like, if they did something right, and even though they did not do something that they make them proud, at least they're being they're um what they're doing are being recognized by their parents, that is something that
No,
make them
what
proud about it.
what makes children proud of their parents?
Okay. Like for instance, I'm sorry for that. Like for instance, in the school, um, they got good grades. They did something like they achieved something from the school.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much there, Cynthia.
Sorry, I'm out of words with that.
No, no, it's okay. So you were asking what makes parents proud of their children, but I
Yeah,
changed the question. I said what makes children proud of their
proud of the
parents?
parents. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, for
I was
example,
a
if
little bit confused about that.
yeah, yeah. So maybe if their parents like become famous or their parents become,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or rich, that might make them proud of their parents, or if their parents just are just sort of good people. So that maybe I was changing the order of it just to see what your views would be. But yeah, you did obviously that final question we didn't quite get, but the previous questions you followed and gave coherent responses to. I think there was a specific word you were looking for, which was praise. You were saying that parents should give their children praise. So like saying, well done, you did that well, you did a good job. So that was like a key word that I think would have summed up the descriptions that you were making. But you made your idea clear. Am I right in saying that maybe you couldn't think of the word praise? Is that right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but you did the right thing. You used a good strategy, which was to explain the meaning of the word. So that was good strategy you're using there. The pronunciation is very clear. You speak at a natural pace as well. Your fluency was maintained well throughout. You use the term offspring. Offspring is a nice term, but it's uncountable. So you can't say offsprings. It's just offspring.
Okay.
So yeah, just be aware of that. And yeah, there's some nice expressions you use, like material things. You contrasted that with giving encouragement or praise, as we discussed. But just be careful of a couple of grammatical slips. So you said the children has, but children is plural, so we should use have with a plural noun. And also you said the parents are so happy about them, but happy with would be the preposition you'd use. Yeah, happy with them. So yeah, definitely strengths in there, Cynthia, but just a few points to reflect on. If you're not sure about the question, so the examiner won't ask you the same question that's already been asked. If you're not sure, do clarify with the examiner about the question, because otherwise your response won't be coherent. And that's obviously fluency and coherence are one of the criteria. But yeah, well done, Cynthia, and thanks for getting involved.
Thank you.
No worries.
It's never been late. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so who is able to do some practice? I can see Alice and Mac, you're still in the classroom. Are you able to practice, or are you still struggling with your connections? If you are, then I will give someone else a second opportunity to participate. So let me know in the chat box, Alice and Mac, if you are able to participate. Okay, yep. So Mac, you are able to. Let me bring you in that case. Otherwise, Dan, I would have brought you in again. How you doing, Mac? Oh no. Or maybe you were responding to a different a different invitation there. Which would make sense since you're on silent. Yeah, in fact, in that case, let me bring you in, Dan. Let's go again. Or sorry, I can just see we've just had Lauren who's just joined us as well. Hi there, Lauren.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thanks. You joined us just in time. I was about to bring someone else in, but I've not done any practice with you this week. So yes, let's do that. So you've had a good week so far, Lauren?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so we're on part 3 at the moment. That's the part of the test we're looking at. So we're looking at the topic of smiles again. And I'd like to ask you the question, in your opinion, why do people smile?
Well, I believe that people smile because they want to express their gratitude and their happiness towards the other people or with the different events in their lives. With that, they would be able to convey that they are grateful and happy.
And do you think people who smile more often are usually more friendly?
Well, not always, because I think some of the people would just use their smiles them to for them to appear approachable. So it's not always that these people are friendly, because sometimes they are trying to do this gesture just for other people to approach them.
Is it possible to tell the difference between a fake smile and a real smile, do you think?
Yes, actually, if it's a fake smile, it's usually like a straight smile wherein the muscles around the eyes are not that uh, s- are appears stiff. So whereas for the genuine smile, I believe it can be seen that the eyes are also smiling and the eyebrows are somewhat relaxed. So that's my observation with the fake smiles and genuine smiles.
Some people say that smiling can help you feel happier. What do you think about this?
Well, I believe that smiling could really have a great impact with our happiness because in that way we tend to attract the mood in a way that whenever we smile, we attract positive things in life. That's why it creates happiness in our minds, in our hearts.
And finally, why do you think some people rarely smile?
Well, I believe certain people have different moods and attitudes in a way that there are serious types of people wherein smiling is not their thing. Aside from that, some people would tend not to smile because they are thinking of their problems and their insurmountable challenges that they're going through. But at the end of the day, I believe that people should also practice to smile, whatever or wherever they may be, because laughter and smiling could be the best medicine.
Very nice. Thank you very much for that, Lauren. Some really, really good responses there. And the beginning of the class was me focusing on less common vocabulary. And I think what you did in your speaking was give some really good examples of your own less common vocabulary. So, for example, convey, approachable, insurmountable was a really nice one. Insurmountable challenge. And also even words like stiff. So you said the smile might appear stiff. So there was some nice, really nice variety there. Also, you were paraphrasing. So one of my questions focused on real and fake smiles. Instead of real, you used the term genuine, which is a nice synonym. And yeah, there were other expressions which you were using in a very appropriate context as well. Tend to as well, which was nice, or tend not to, in fact, using it in the negative form. And laughter is the best medicine. Nice little expression to use at the end, idiomatic expression. Why not? Why not end on an idiomatic expression? It's a good way
Yes.
to end. There was also a bit of self-correction at the beginning. You said, I think you said
Yes.
people smiles, and then you changed it to people smile, which
Yes.
correctly identified the fact that you should be using the third person plural form of the verb. So well done, really good there, Lauren. I think there weren't many points really where I would pull up in terms of improvement, but I would just say just slightly use the expression to attract the mood. So that's the collocation there is not quite natural. Attracting the mood, maybe to influence the mood or change the mood would be
Yes.
slightly more natural collocations there. And then
Yes.
you said people should practice to smile. So practice smiling would be
Practice smiling.
more, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So practice plus the ing form is the more
Okay.
standard grammar. But apart from that, really good. Yeah, your fluency is really clear. Your pronunciation is excellent. So really, really good stuff there, Lauren. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alex.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you for getting involved. Okay. So that brings us towards the end of the class for today. Thank you so much for those who have got involved, both in terms of your comments on YouTube and Facebook, and also for those who have got involved directly in terms of doing speaking practice as well. It's your involvement in the classes that makes them worthwhile. So thank you so much for getting stuck in. And for those who were watching on YouTube and Facebook who wanted to get involved more directly in the class and do speaking practice, the opportunity does exist for you to do that. And you can do that through joining our IELTS scholarship program. This will allow you to access the extra support and the extra guidance which will help you to pass your IELTS exam. So if you were watching this class and you were thinking to yourself, or sending me comments, and some of you have sent comments on YouTube and Facebook and said, you know, I want to practice, I want to get involved, then do click on the link, which you can see at the bottom of my screen at the moment, in order to find out more information as to how you could participate in this, how you could get access to this extra support, including live speaking and feedback on your speaking in these classes. So that is the IELTS Scholarship Program. You could sign up for this today, and you could potentially as well get all of this extra support for free. Okay, but apart from that, thanks once again for those who have participated. I will look forward to you participating in next week's class, and I look forward to seeing you on Facebook and YouTube as well. So until then, take care and have a fantastic week and weekend, more appropriately. Have a fantastic weekend.